It's the DongFeng Nammi. And is it just me, but this EV looks like a Pokemon.
This is the DongFeng Nammi. It's loony, it's toony, and it's fully electric. On a full charge of battery, you have around 430 kilometers of pure electric range. And with this ride priced at around 1.2 million Philippine pesos, what is this cute and quirky car all about?
Practical daily driving. That's why you get an EV at the end of the day. Really, with how volatile oil prices have been, going electric really gives you a good constant price in terms of your daily driving. So you're gonna like that for the simple element that your running costs aren't as high when it comes to a car like this. Add that with the fact that this car also looks stylish and fun from the outside, really gives you a look of how the DongFeng Nammi is ready to be practical while also looking stylish all at once. This video is brought to you by Hans Super Oxygen Foam Cleaner. It's a multi-purpose cleaner to help make your daily car a whole lot cleaner. To know more about them, you can check them out down below.
The DongFeng Nammi looks fun and ready for anything when you look at it from the outside. The front looks clean and minimal with a futuristic look, and matching all of that with the LED lights and the color that you have really gives this ride a very fun and engaging look.
You gotta remember, there are two other color options when it comes to the DongFeng Nammi, so if you prefer a different theme to your ride, just call the dealership and see what else they have for you. Now, the Nammi is also available in blue and also in white, and in other countries, the purple is also available as well. All in all, when you look at the Nammi, you realize that this EV is really positioned for the young driver. What does come standard though is the color that you have for your roof, which is white, and as well as your pillars, which is color black. And come to think of it, somehow when I look at this Nammi from the outside, it kind of reminds me of a Mini Cooper.
In terms of the numbers, you have 4,030 millimeters in length and 1,810 millimeters when it comes to width. For height, you have 1,570 millimeters.
Ground clearance is at around 6.3 inches when it comes to the Nammi, and when you're looking at the numbers of this car, it's very similar to something like, let's say, a BYD Dolphin, a Hyundai Venue, or even a Kia Stonic. And when you look at this ride from the outside, what you have here are R17 tires to go with your ride, and as well as frameless doors, giving it a nice modern and sporty touch. One more thing about this ride is that the door handle, it looks pretty interesting. Now, if the car is unlocked, it protrudes like that. But if you do lock the car, it sounds like this. And the handles properly blend in. Sort of like a case of, now you see me, now you don't.
The back of the Nammi replicates what you have in the front, LED taillights, although the ones here in the back carry an oval shape as opposed to the triangular look that you have at the front. There is no muffler in the back, and that's because this ride is fully electric. And if you're looking for your charging port, it's right here.
Now, is there a lifestyle adjustment? Yes, but does owning an EV feel intimidating? Not really. Now, you gotta remember, if you plan ahead, you could really go a long way when it comes to having a full charge with this vehicle. Now, are you worried about range anxiety? I don't think so. If you have the latest apps like Evro, which gives you an idea of the nearest available charging stations, having range anxiety will be lessened. And you also gotta remember that the number of charging stations have increased over the past few years, so having one now versus back in 2022 is an entirely completely new experience. And if you connect those dots with the fact that you also have a charging kit, or you're also given a charging kit every time you buy an EV, really you could also be able to charge at home. So really at the end of the day, you have a lot of options when it comes to maintenance and daily driving an EV. Now you gotta remember though, the DongFeng Nammi on a full charge gives you 430 kilometers. You know, that's actually pretty far. Come to think of it, I think that's actually a drive from Alabang Town Center all the way to Vigan City on one drive without stopping for anything. And to be honest, how often are you gonna do that? But if you and a couple of friends decide to do it on a whim, hey, take note that the DongFeng Nammi has you covered.
Talking about cargo, the Nammi has approximately 326 liters of space with all of the seats in use. And if that's not enough, fold the rear seats and you end up with 945 liters of space.
You know what? For the DongFeng Nammi here in the back, there is surprisingly a whole lot of space.
Quilted leather stitching is seen all over this car's interior surfaces, and that also matches the perforated leather seats. There's also plenty of chrome trims inside this car, and so when you connect the dots, you can really see how fashion-forward and stylish the Nammi's interior is positioned to be.
Now, to turn on your DongFeng Nammi, it's actually very simple. As long as you have this with you, your smart key, all you gotta do is step on the brakes and the car is on and ready for action. This is after all an EV, so you won't feel any vibrations and you'll just hear the safety sensors, and that's a normal thing. Now with that, what you have here is a large center screen which has everything that you need here. Now it has wireless pairing for your phones, and it also has all of the adjustments that you need to make your drive easier. For your air conditioning, for your navigation, your radio, all right here. And getting familiar with your center screen, it's easy. Spend a day or two with your Nammi and you're gonna be okay. And one quirky thing about this car, the design, it's customizable. And look, there's also a cat in the middle. How cute! And one more thing that you're gonna like about this car is that if you're the type of person who has a tough time with parking, this thing's got the automatic parking feature.
There's also ambient lighting here to go with soft leather surfaces all over the Nammi. And for your driver's display, you have a 5-inch fully digital screen instead of a gauge cluster. The steering wheel has buttons to make your drive a whole lot easier. The buttons on the left are for your cruise control settings, and the buttons on the right are for your audio control settings. There's also a wireless charging pad in the middle with cooling functions for your phone and a very spacious armrest.
Now, if you think that the Nammi is a small car, think again. Along with your perforated leather seats here and your quilted leather for your dashboard, you could be able to add more space here inside your car. How so? Do this. Recline your seat, remove your headrest, and it doesn't stop there. If you slide your chair all the way to the front and slide this all the way back, you have all of this space here in the back. Look, a guy like me, 6 feet tall, could comfortably sit here in the back of the Nammi.
Under the hood, this ride is fully electric. You have a 42.3 kilowatt battery, which at a full charge gives you 430 kilometers of range. All of this with 160 Newton meters of torque.
Now, does it feel underpowered? No. You gotta remember that this car also has a weight of around 1,235 kilograms. So if you match that with your multiple drive modes, you'll realize that you have a very balanced power to weight ratio when it comes to this EV. Now, this is a car that you can easily take into the city. But given the range that you have with a ride like this, going out of town is not a problem. And the fact that you also have regenerative braking when it comes to this EV really gives you better range, especially on those long drives. And one more thing about this ride, talking about charging time. If you put this EV on a DC fast charger, you could be able to recharge from 30 to 80% in about half an hour. Okay, I'm going a little bit off script here, so good luck to our writers and our editors. But anyways, here inside the hood, you'll notice a lot of things when it comes to this EV. Now, first of all, the electric motor, it's in the front, so you do not have a frunk when it comes to this EV. But one thing you'll notice is that everything is accessible here. Now, this is your electric motor, and it's fascinating, but you could actually be able to see your rack and pinion steering way down there, and the fan with your radiator is actually just here. So if you're a mechanic, you'll notice how all of it is fixable and reachable. And because this is an EV, the maintenance for this car will mostly be for the mechanical components only. The electric motor doesn't need a lot of maintenance. As long as you charge it properly, you're going to be perfectly fine. And one more thing about this EV that I just find fascinating, check this out. There is ceiling down here. So that's floor right there. There's a metal floor down there, and as well as down there. And of course, in here, there's not a lot of intake. So that means that if you have to encounter any last minute water or a flood, your electric motor will be perfectly fine. Now again though, just because everything is sealed for your electric motor doesn't mean that you have a submarine. So do not take this under a flood. But again though, when push comes to shove, it's nice to know that you have a little bit more peace of mind. So, why get a DongFeng Nammi? Well, as mentioned earlier, the price of oil, it's been volatile these past few years. So if you're looking for a daily driver and you're on a budget, following the prices, following the numbers, it could get emotionally tiring. So going electric really gives you a very nice medium when it comes to keeping your costs, your travel costs relatively low. And with how well built these EVs are, the comfort for a daily drive, it's really a great option. Now, you gotta remember that infrastructure, it's also improved over these past years, and so owning an EV now versus before has actually gotten easier. Range anxiety, that's not a thing anymore.
Thinking about safety? Well, the Nammi is loaded with plenty of safety features giving you so much peace of mind. Aside from multiple cameras, you also have multiple sensors and an auto park feature for your convenience.
Add that with the fact that DongFeng really gives you top-notch warranties when it comes to this ride, really gives you a lot of peace of mind when it comes to daily driving the Nammi. And with the push for renewable energy happening globally, it makes you realize that the cost of electricity could get even better.